YouTube is full of videos about good knives. It's full of videos about bad knives. It's high time that someone makes a video about weird knives. This is 3 Weird Knives, and I'm your host, JJJinks!
Let's get weird.
And welcome to another episode of 3 Weird Knives. We're going to kick things off with this knife, which kind of harkens back to the very first episode. When I had that Freemason knife, there was another knife that it kind of reminded me of, but I couldn't think of it, and it was kind of like this one. So this is a cheap little Paratrooper style knife, dating back to sometime in the 1900s, I guess. So what we're looking at is one of those knives where the blade is stored in the handle. You flip this piece up, and you open. The knife pokes through the front, and then you close it. And then the clasp comes back down, and then it's got a couple of little holes to accommodate these rivets here. And what you get is this little clip point blade. This piece was made in Taiwan. It's not that sharp, but, you know, it was 15 bucks. Made by Ruko. Blade stock's actually pretty thick on this thing. That's 1/8 inch, maybe? And then the reverse to close it. Flip this up, and shabam. Shabam. Clip. So, I don't know if paratroopers actually used something like this, but they probably wouldn't want to use this one for audible reasons. But pretty unique design. I liked it in the Freemason knife, and I like it in this knife. Alright lads, next up we have the Scottish bollock dagger. I love this packaging. It's got the plaid. So this is a traditional, not just Scottish, it was kind of all over Europe, everywhere from Scandinavia to England. And what we find inside is a pretty nice leather sheath. At least it smells nice. Yeah, I like the way leather smells, and it's got this kind of neat seam down the middle. And the dagger itself, which has a pair of balls on it, which is why it's called the bollock dagger. Now, this actually is sort of a historical piece. The bollock daggers were in use from the 13th all the way to the 18th century, where it was renamed the kidney dagger because the Victorian era did not want any sexual connotations. Traditional bollock daggers don't exactly look like this. It's more like this piece was just kind of a handguard that sort of looked like testicles. This piece, it sort of exaggerates that. And down here at the pommel, we got a metal disc, so that's there. Blade is not very good. In this case, it's a Pakistan-made blade with a lot of gunk on it. And if you look on this side, we have what appears to be lots and lots of pitting. Yeah, so pretty poor quality. It is a dagger grind, and it's sharp but rough. But that's okay because really, just like the real bollocks, this one is for display. I just like the idea of a bunch of Scottish men running around stabbing each other with their balls on a dagger. Like, I wonder if anyone had one of these custom made to have balls that looked like theirs. That doesn't really look like testicles, really. It looks more like, actually kind of looks more like a vagina in a way. Obviously, the novelty of the bollock's dagger has transcended utility and is now all about the aesthetics. Bollocks. That's a tighter fit than I thought it would be. And next up, I've got something from Tack Force. Tactical Rescue Outdoor. Fantastic. What's in it, egg? Oh, I love Tack Force. Just look at this thing. It's kind of cybernetic, and they got this rough part just to remind you that it's sort of I don't know, retro-futuristic, I suppose. You have what look like circuitry elements in there. You got the RoboCop colors going on, a high ride pocket clip and a lanyard hole going through both parts of the liner. No glass breaker. How is this a tactical knife without a glass breaker? I thought every tactical knife had one of those. You got a little bit of jimping here, some, I guess, sort of jimping there. But really, what makes this knife weird, besides this, is the blade. Check this out. Oh yes, this is why I love Tack Force. What we have is, I guess you could call it a compound blade. You have kind of a drop point thing going on here, and then there's a choil break, and then you have a short recurve part here with a very generous choil here, and a bunch of random holes and slots cut in, and there appears to be some kind of debris in one of these holes. Alright, cheap Paratrooper knife. Let's see if I can make you useful. Get out of there. Oh, I got it out. No idea. I'm just gonna throw that away. Yeah, lockup's good too. There is a ton of tension on this pocket clip that is going to rip your pants apart. Centering's okay. The opening assisted mechanism seems to work pretty well. I guess you could use this recurved part as a pull blade, sort of like in the Ranger style knives. I don't know. But this knife is incredibly difficult to hold. Okay, check this out. You got these finger choils here. So you're supposed to hold it like this. But then the blade is just so far out from where you're holding it, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel natural. And I guess you could choke up on it because there's jimping here. So I guess you could also kind of hold it like this. But then it's really uncomfortable because this piece causes it to bulge out so much that, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. But there's jimping here for your thumb, so I guess that is one of the intended ways you're supposed to hold it. Now, as for the utility of this knife, you're obviously supposed to use it for hacking into the Matrix, perhaps? Maybe like this is the knife that Johnny Mnemonic, you know, that movie that Keanu Reeves would use in that movie with Ice Cube and the dolphin.